Yeah, run it back, nation. Sixers sickos. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. We are celebrating a Philadelphia 76ers victory over the Brooklyn Nets in a preseason blowout. If you were watching the fourth quarter of this game, you are an absolute sicko, because it was the Delaware Bluecoats versus whoever the hell's on the end of the bench for the Brooklyn Nets. And if you were watching the end of this game, you saw another injury. In the fourth quarter, Jared McCain went down and needed help off the floor. Took a hard fall, landed flat on his back, hoping it just knocked the wind out of him. We're going to go find the clip on Twitter. We're going to talk about what Nick Nurse said after the game about Jared McCain's injury and all of those types of things. And then we're also going to talk about, things that I liked in the game, assess some players, and I'll read your comments live in the chat. And if you want to call the show, we'll take some calls. If you want to call the show, if anybody's awake after Sixers Nets preseason game on a Wednesday night, we'll take some calls on the Discord or on the phone line. So thanks for being here. Hit the like button for us one time. Get us up over 1,000 likes on this stream. That helps us push this through the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We're approaching 25,000 subscribers. Get all the merch on runitbackphillyshop.com. And this is brought to you by BetUS. BetUS right now, the last odds that I looked at was Joel Embiid for Defensive Player of the Year. They have it at a plus 4,000 over there. Joel Embiid playing maybe a lesser role on this team. Not a lesser role, but having to shoulder less of an offensive load. Maybe he steps up defensively more and anchors the defense a little bit more. I think he's Defensive Player of the Year every year, honestly, when I watch Joel Embiid play. But there's just a little something for you over on BetUS, and right now using promo code YouTube150, you can get 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two, up to $2,000. Again, that is promo code YouTube150 over on BetUS. You might as well bet on the entire 76ers roster being injured. Hey, BetUS, you should put that on your website. What are the odds every single player on the 76ers roster is going to get hurt? Okay. The odds are probably pretty high for that. So put that on over there. All right. Again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring the channel. Let's get into what we need to get into, man. This was a scary fall. Okay. Jared McCain fell under the basket and he landed flat on his back. All right. And obviously when you land flat on your back, the first thing we think is that, it knocked the wind out of him a little bit, but we're sitting there watching it. What did I just do? We're sitting there watching it, and he landed flat on his back. I'll show you the clip here, but it was a little bit like the reaction to it was just something that I feel like I haven't really seen before. Here's the play, where he lands on his back. Just a little goes up for a board. Somebody's swinging for a loose ball right there. Just boom, lands flat on his back. And it was a really hard fall. If you want to watch it in fast motion, it was a pretty hard fall. Looked like he hit his head on the floor also, and he laid there for a while. But the scariest part about it was that he laid there holding his chest, right? And I'm like, why is he holding his chest? Did it just knock the wind out of him? It looks like he's holding his temple right there, which, you land that hard on the floor, you get your bell rung, you're going to be hear a train coming or whatever, you know what I mean? But he was laying there holding his chest after the play, and then the medical staff came out and the trainers were pushing on his chest, and he was like coughing and like sitting up and kind of having like some, looked like he was kind of having spasms or something. I'm like, this doesn't look good at all, man. And I don't want to speculate on anything. I'm just going to say that I hope it just knocked the wind out of him and he's totally fine. I'm not going to say it could have been this, it could have been that, it might be this, it might be that. You can go to Brian Studdard's, YouTube page if you want to. He probably already has a video up showing you a 3D rendering of the lungs and the heart and everything else and what could have happened on to Jared McCain when he landed that hard. But I'm just saying that it was just kind of scary for us watching it after the play because he was laying there holding his chest, and then the trainers came out and were pushing on his chest, and he was coughing, and it just wasn't fun. Wasn't fun to watch. And we're just hoping that Jared McCain is okay. So a little bit of an update here. Nick Nurse stated that Jared McCain is at the hospital being looked at after his hard fall resulted in trouble breathing. Jared McCain is at the hospital being looked at after the hard fall that he had in the fourth quarter of the preseason game resulted in trouble breathing. Prayers up for Jared McCain. Of course, we all hope that, again, just knocked the wind out of him and it's nothing serious. But my God, not my God, it wasn't you, God. It was the basketball gods. Basketball gods, what did we do to you? Just what did we do to you? Basketball gods, what did we do in a past life? At this point, if you get drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, you should be in fear for your safety. I mean, Kyle Lowry came back to the Sixers, his hometown last year. In the first game that he played, he got elbowed in the forehead and got 7 stitches on the sideline. Paul George healthy all last season. Played 70 games last season. I think 74 actually last season. Second preseason game, he almost breaks his damn leg in half. And now rookie Jared McCain played a whole, 2 years in college, or maybe he was a one and done, I don't know, but played a whole young career, high school, college, everything. Don't ever remember seeing any injury like that. Plays a couple games for the Philadelphia 76ers, lands on the floor and gets taken to the hospital because he's having trouble breathing. I just want to know what we did in a past life, basketball gods, and can you, what do we got to do for you to give us mercy? I don't know. But there's all the stuff on Jared McCain. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it was just a hard fall that knocked the wind out of him. And, but after a hard fall resulted in trouble breathing, that sucks to hear. That sucks to hear. So, there's the Jared McCain update for you. And again, hopefully he's okay. I don't know what else to say. Nobody can catch a break on this team, man. Nobody can catch a break on this team. Anyway, the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Brooklyn Nets 117-95. Ben Simmons did not play in the game because Ben Simmons is a fraud. Ben Simmons was supposed to be ramping up, all of the offseason stories every year with this guy, right? They're showing videos of him shooting the ball. They're showing this, they're showing that. Ben Simmons this, Ben Simmons that. He's another video of him shooting jump shots in the gym. He's in great shape. He's ready to make an NBA return. He plays one preseason game. And then he's scheduled to take on the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. And conveniently, Ben Simmons is out tonight versus the Philadelphia 76ers. So Ben Simmons, the biggest loser in the history of sports, ducked the Sixers fans again and did not get on the floor. I just think it's funny because what has Ben Simmons done to be skipping preseason games, Has he earned that? Is he that kind of player? Oh, Ben doesn't have to play in the preseason, because we know what he does. What? Like, you would think he'd be out there every preseason game trying to get in shape. Anyway, I was looking forward to booing Ben Simmons, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. And, we didn't get to do that because he's a scared loser and ducked the smoke again. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Cano says we can't hear you. Is that just you? You don't have your volume on? Some Cano said we can't hear you again, but he's the only one saying that. Everyone else in the chat, what's the audio sound like? Can you guys hear me? My audio is up. Volume looks fine. Some people are responding to what I'm talking about, so I'm assuming everyone can hear me. I can hear you now. All right, Kano turned his volume on. That's good. Thank you for doing that. Okay, what else I want to talk about in the game? Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey had a couple of plays in this game that really stood out to me, and it was the alley-oops to KJ Martin. Because I said a couple of nights ago, I've been saying probably this entire offseason, what is Tyrese Maxey going to add to his game? This year, he always adds something. He always improves in some specific area. He improved the shooting a couple of years ago, became a good three-point shooter. He improved the ball handling, the mid-range jump shot, the creation off the dribble. He got himself a step-back three, hanging out with James Harden. And this year, it seems like Tyrese Maxey is becoming more of a facilitator. I know we said that last year, but I haven't seen Tyrese Maxey throw some of these weak side alley-oops and things that I'm seeing him throw to KJ Martin in his young career, actually, at all. And that tells me that Tyrese Maxey is now breaking down defenders on the perimeter and keeping his eyes up and reading the whole floor like a true point guard. Two alley-oops to KJ Martin, one in transition, and one was just beautiful about at the logo, almost at half court. Maxey just throws an alley-oop to KJ Martin cutting baseline. In the last game or the game before, I saw him a pick and roll with Andre Drummond where he threw the alley-oop behind his head. So we're getting very, facilitator, reading the floor type of assists from Tyrese Maxey, and he's so quick. He's such a good scorer. He's so hard to stop. If he really has added this to his game where if you do step up, if you do double team him, if you do crash in on him when he's driving the lane, he can throw weak side alley-oops. He can find the open man. You might be looking at a complete product from Tyrese Maxey that could be completely unstoppable. If you look at his game against the Miami Heat, the play-in game that I believe Joel Embiid missed, Tyrese Maxey had 37 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds, almost a 40-point triple-double in a very important playoff game. Averaged 37 and 4 against the New York Knicks in the playoffs. I'm just saying it's one more thing that I think he's added to his game that could make him completely unstoppable. If Tyrese Maxey becomes an elite passer, the league's screwed, bro. The league is finished. He's MVP. I don't care what anybody says. That's my Tyrese Maxey takeaway for the night. What else I got? Oh, Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey were on the floor together in this game. I thought that was interesting from Nick Nurse. I thought it was cool that Nick Nurse, took a chance and said, let me see what these guys look like on the floor together. Two undersized guards, probably not a good defensive pairing, but we'll see if Nurse, tries anything like that in the regular season. But he tried it in this preseason game. Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain on the floor together. Didn't really see too much from it. It's not like there was some kind of unstoppable two-man game that happened when they were out there. But maybe it's something that Nick Nurse is throwing out there that he wants to, get them some chemistry together or something like that. Or maybe Jared McCain is just the backup point guard. Hoping, assuming that he's okay. Reggie Jackson looks incredibly washed. Again, Kyle Lowry didn't play. Reggie Jackson looks totally washed. I had some people in my comments after my last video defending Reggie Jackson. You don't know what you're talking about. Reggie still has some game. Reggie this, Reggie that. Bro, he looks terrible. What are you telling me? If Reggie Jackson had any game left, he would have 20 and 10 against the Brooklyn Nets G League. Like, this is the tanking Brooklyn Nets in a preseason game. And Reggie Jackson couldn't give you anything. I didn't look at the stats, but he gave you nothing. Jeff Doughton Jr. looks like a better point guard than Reggie Jackson. I think Reggie Jackson might end up getting waived. He looks that bad right now. And Jeff Doughton Jr. on a two-way contract just looks much better. Jeff Doughton's creating shots for himself, mid-range jump shots, threes, making plays for guys. I'm just not seeing the Reggie Jackson thing so far. I didn't know there was Reggie Jackson enthusiasts, but there is on YouTube somehow, some way. There's an enthusiast for everybody. Any player you talk about that has ever existed, there will be a super fan in the comments telling you you're wrong. I'm just giving my honest opinion on the situation. I think Jared McCain is becoming the backup point guard. He struggled tonight, didn't shoot the ball well. Had a couple of nice plays, a couple of physical drives to the rim, and then of course he got hurt. But there's my take on that. Gershon Yabusele continues to impress. Gershon Yabusele, everybody. Gershon Yabusele. He's hitting threes from the corner. He's fighting under the rim for offensive, defensive rebounds. He's out here dunking on people, trying to. Gershon Yabusele had a poster attempt in the first quarter. Got a foul called out of it, went to the free throw line, but my goodness, he tried to catch a body. And the Sixers finally have multiple role players. Because Kelly Oubre tried to poster on somebody. I do think the Philadelphia 76ers lead the league in missed dunks the last 10 years by a landslide. Don't know what it is. Because Kelly Oubre tried to poster somebody also and hit the back of the rim. Didn't get the foul call. Was kind of yelling at the ref about it. But Gershon Yabusele tried to poster somebody in the first quarter, and I just want to say that it's a breath of fresh air to have a bunch of guys on a basketball team that are out there trying to catch a body, that are out there putting everything on the line and saying, I'm putting the ball through the hoop, and you're going to have to physically stop me from that happening, versus all of the soft, pampered diva babies that we've watched over the years. Avoid contact, refuse to fight under the rim, refuse to dive for a loose ball. It's just nice. It's nice to see guys that have a chip on their shoulder, have something to prove, and they're going out there and they're giving 110%. Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, Gershon Yabusele, the list goes on. Jared McCain, again, hope he's okay. Andre Drummond, can't forget to mention Andre Drummond, fighting for rebounds, bodying people under the. He doesn't care if it's a preseason game. This guy is a baller. And what's the Nets? The dude that started at center for the Nets, man. It's too late. I forget his name. But a couple of times under the rim, Andre Drummond just gave him this shoulder from hell and knocked him out of the way and dunked the ball. He did block Drummond's shot one time, and Drummond got the ball back, took a power dribble, knocked him on the floor, laid it in, stared at him as he laid on the floor, told him he's too little, and ran down to the other side of the floor. And then Drummond got called for an offensive foul the next time down. Couple of possessions later, Drummond fighting for an offensive rebound under the rim. A player kind of grabbed his arm and refused to let go, and Drummond was like, "Get the off of me, bro," you know? And dude was like, "Yo, what's up?" And they were kind of chirping at each other. I'm like, Andre Drummond is about to fight a random G League player who's probably a part-time Best Buy employee in a preseason game. We finally have guys, bro. I think the next play, Kelly Oubre chased down a loose ball and landed in the third row on top of some lady's lap. We just got dudes out here fight. We got a team full of fighters. And it's so refreshing to see. Kelly Oubre had a great shooting night, by the way. Right after somebody in my live stream chat was ranting about Kelly Oubre stinks at shooting, and he never wants to see Kelly Oubre shoot the ball again. Kelly Oubre started knocking down threes. So whoever that was, I forget who it was, thank you for that. Thank you for, speaking Kelly Oubre's good shooting into existence. He had 18 points in the first half, Kelly Oubre did. A couple of really confident pull-up threes off the dribble for Kelly Oubre. So that was nice to see in this game. And then the second half of the game, we were just looking at guys like Justin Edwards, Adem Bona, Lester Canonez, and then Jared McCain, had the fall that he had. By the way, Clowney was the center's name that Andre Drummond knocked onto the floor and stared down. Adem Bona had a dribble drive to the rim, like from the perimeter, left-hand drive, right-hand finger roll finish. Didn't know he had that in his game. And had some plays fighting for boards, getting physical under the rim, but didn't see a whole lot out of Adem Bona, to be honest with you. He did have a nice block on Dennis Schroeder, which may have been a goaltend, but it wasn't called. Dennis Schroeder, little floater, blocked by Adem Bona at the rim. That was nice. It was really wild that the Brooklyn Nets had all of their starters in the preseason game in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas. The whole starting lineup was still in the fourth quarter of a blowout preseason game. So that's interesting. I wonder if those guys respect Ben Simmons at all. We're out here fighting in the fourth quarter of a preseason game, and you're sitting on the bench like you've done something in your career. You haven't. Lester Canonez. Lester Canonez had, I think, 3 3-pointers in the game from what I saw, and a couple of them were nice pull-up threes off the dribble. And Lester Canonez played for the Warriors. He was in practice with Steph Curry and those boys for an entire year, And I remember a game last year the Sixers were playing against the Warriors, I think without Steph and Clay and everybody, and just Pochemski and Lester Canonez and the dude that landed on Joel Embiid's knee. But I remember after that game, I was talking about Lester Canonez, 6'5", 22 years old, has a nice dribble pull-up jump shot. I think Lester Canonez might have a little bit of game. Now we are talking about the Nets in the preseason, so we're going to pump our brakes. But still, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the end of this game because those players, those Delaware Bluecoats players, are fighting to prove to everybody that they can play in the NBA. And I think, I hope Nick Nurse gives some of these guys a shot on the end of the bench, maybe. You know what I mean? I think Lester Canonez might have a little bit of game to offer the Philadelphia 76ers. Maybe in some of these games where Joel Embiid is out, Andre Drummond is out, Paul George is out, one of these Wednesday night against the Washington Wizards type of game, we might see some Lester Canonez and some of those other guys. But I thought he was good. Ricky Council, again, just kind of looks sporadic, kind of looks random, kind of looks like he's out there playing with his eyes closed. And I had an assessment while watching the game on Ricky Council. And my assessment is that Ricky Council, when he's on the floor in meaningful games during a regular season with starting level NBA players, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, whoever he was out there with last year in some of those games, I think he fits a role well. That's why last year we were calling for Ricky Council over Tobias Harris, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. But he just was bringing a level of physicality and tenacity and just fire that some of the players on that team last year weren't bringing. And his ability to finish around the rim and finish through contact was very nice to see last year. And so I think when Ricky Council's playing on a team with some starters and is just playing a role, not trying to do too much, he really does a good job of playing to his strengths and giving the team what they want out of him in that role. And then when he gets on a team, like the Delaware Bluecoats or like the Summer League team or like this team in the preseason, he's out there trying to be a star, And don't forget, Ricky Council did say this offseason that he's going to be an all-star this season. He said he wants to be in the dunk contest, and he said, I'm going to be there because I'm going to be an all-star. And, Then he comes out here on these preseason type of rosters and he tries to be an all-star and he's just not that. And he tries to do too much and he forces the ball through double teams and turns it over and throws bad passes and, all that type of stuff. So I think that's my assessment of Ricky Council so far through the preseason is that he can probably play a pretty good role, when he knows not to do too much. But these lineups where he feels like he wants to try to be a star, it doesn't look good. Justin Edwards, on the other hand, that kid looks good so far. Justin Edwards plays with a lot of control and a lot of poise and just looks like an experienced NBA player out there. I really like Justin Edwards. And again, it's preseason. It's against the New Jersey Nets or the Brooklyn Nets, whoever, and it's the end of the bench. But I think Justin Edwards looks like he has a lot of potential. Guys like Ricky Council are very athletic, but are like unpredictable. You don't know what the hell they're going to do. They might dunk it. They might throw it off the top of the backboard. Justin Edwards looks a little bit more under control with his moves and things that he does. And so I've really liked watching Justin Edwards play also. What else I want to say, man? Nick Nurse was up off the bench in the fourth quarter yelling at the officials in a 20-point preseason blowout. Nick Nurse I just love how locked in he is all the time. One thing you're going to get from Nick Nurse is your money's worth. The guy is going to give you 100% every time he's coaching. In practice, in training camp, in a meaningless preseason game. He was out there last year in the summer league watching Jaden Springer play, trying to fix his jump shot. The guy is locked in. He's going to get the most he can out of every player on this roster. I just love the fact that it's the fourth quarter of a preseason blowout, and we have a coach who's out there off the bench yelling at the officials, challenging calls, doing everything. Coaches that we had in years prior probably wouldn't be doing all that. Doc Rivers probably would have been asleep in the chair, or not even there. Actually, probably would have been somewhere getting some rest because he has to golf in the morning. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nick Nurse for that, man. Anything I missed, ladies and gentlemen? You want to let me know in the chat anything I missed? Any hot takes that you have? Any comments, concerns, questions that you have? Drop them in the chat, or you can jump in the call-in list on the Discord, or you can call the phone number right there on the bottom left of my screen, 951-981-7683. Whatever you want to do, you can join the show. I can sit here and just react to the chat, or you can give me a call. Let me know what you want to do. All right. Nick Marchetti with the super chat. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. Nets might actually be worse than the Wizards. I don't know, man. A couple of players on the Nets, I think, have a point to prove or trying to prove that they can play. When I look at the Wizards, I'm looking at some guys that don't give a shit at all. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. Last year, in a blowout, a game they were losing by 20, Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole threw the ball off the backboard to Kyle Kuzma while down by 20-plus points in an NBA game. I think there will always be, as long as guys like that are together on an NBA team, the Wizards are always going to be the worst. Is there any update on McCain after the game? Yeah, we went over in the beginning of the show, but I'll bring it up here again for you, man. Nick Nurse said that Jared McCain is at the hospital being looked at after his hard fall resulted in trouble breathing. So he landed flat on his back, man. He landed pretty hard, and apparently that resulted in him having trouble breathing again. Hopefully that's just knocked the wind out of him or what have you. Hopefully he is okay. We'll go ahead and search Jared McCain on here one more time, see if we got anything newer. Update, Josh Reynolds. Nick Nurse says Jared McCain is on his way to the hospital because of course he is. Praying for good news and hoping he is okay. Okay, people are, of course, there's Twitter doctors putting diagnosis in the replies. But yeah, there is the update on Jared McCain again. Hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully he's all right. So there's nobody on the phone lines, man. There's nobody in the Discord. Everybody's quiet. I understand it's a Brooklyn Nets Sixers preseason game. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George. The fact that there was 200 people in the live stream is insane because you guys are total sickos. The fact that there's over 200 people in here right now listening to me talk about a preseason game is crazy because you guys are sickos. But listen, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for rocking with me. We're getting it started. We're getting the ball rolling. We will be here every single 76ers game this season. Rock with me. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Sixers Bucks is one preseason game away. We got one more preseason game, and that is Friday against the Orlando Magic. Gross. Joe Yeager, what's going on, man? I appreciate you listening while folding laundry. Let's go. Fold that laundry, bro. Fold it crisp. Fold them edges precise. Line every single article of clothing up perfectly to a T. Fold the best laundry you've ever folded. Nothing like some laundry folding motivation at 10:30 p.m. on a Wednesday after a preseason game. Hey, thank you for hanging out. Nick Marchetti, prediction for opening night. Yes. Prediction for opening night, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. Here it is. And thanks for the question, Nick, and thank you for being here for years now, man. I appreciate you being a loyal follower and watcher and viewer. Loyal viewer, that's the word I was looking for, not loyal follower. This is not a cult. Prediction for opening night. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George. Tyrese Maxey drops a 40-point triple-double, and Andre Drummond has 19 points and 17 rebounds. And the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Milwaukee Bucks in Philly on opening night without Joel Embiid, without Paul George. And the, oh my God, Tyrese Maxey could be a superstar narrative begins in the mainstream media. It's already been here. There's my prediction. Hey, thanks for hanging out, guys. I love you all, and I will see you